a very, very big story, and it has been unraveling over the last 5 days, viewers. 5 days with no resolution. Viewers, spare a thought. Spare a thought. 2 minor girls in their mid-teens, innocents, have resisted days of pressure, days, to implicate a person in a sexual assault case who they idolized, who everyone around them treats like God. The person they have accused of aggravated, penetrative, sexual assault is a revered figure, the pontiff of a powerful mutt with millions of followers. He has politicians falling at his feet. Forget ex-chief ministers, even a prospective prime ministerial candidate, Rahul Gandhi, has sought the Seer's counsel. The power imbalance here is gargantuan, totally loaded against 2 teenagers. Just about everyone these minors know are shunning them, treating them like villains, feeble minds who have willingly allowed themselves to be co-opted into a stratagem to character assassinate a hero. That is what is being whispered around them. Viewers, the person they have implicated is a hero, a savior of the faith. In short, they are being guilted into thinking that they are pathetic and perverted ingrates. That's a lot to bear for a couple of teenagers, viewers. These girls could be our daughters or our sisters. Despite promises made daily to save betis from predators, the Seer is being given an inexplicably wide berth. I'm not saying that the Seer is guilty. I don't know. 2 minors have had the gumption to take on a person of this renown, knowing the consequences. Perhaps they've had probably a lot of time to think about the consequences. And they have deposed before a magistrate. They can't go back lawfully on their statement. They'll be tried for perjury. But it's been 5 days since the FIR against the Seer was filed. But the pontiff is not only getting visits from powerful netas, but also clean chits from them. It is quite sickening. It is also inexplicable, because the Seer has been booked under the Posco Act, which necessitates the police to question the Seer and arrest him without a warrant. That's the kind of power the police have. But this hasn't happened. Had you or I been booked under, God forbid, such a draconian provision of the law, they would have taken us within minutes from our homes or wherever and jailed us, perhaps even throwing the key away. Viewers, not one finger has been lifted. Forget about arresting, to even question this Seer. In fact, if he is so holy and such a God man, if he is so imbued with conscientiousness, he should have just submitted himself by now to the police and said, look, question me. I have nothing to hide. I'm a holy man. Viewers, even that hasn't happened. Even that, perhaps, is asking too much as we stand, viewers. Why are we saying a long rope has been given to this Lingayat Seer, viewers? There are reasons. The first, he's been charged for sexually assaulting minors. Grave offense. Charged of aggravated penetrative sexual assault. Section 41 of the Posco Act mandates arrest without warrant. He tried apparently to escape but was intercepted in Haveri. That's the allegation. Relevant sections of the SC/ST Act have been invoked. This too leaves very little room for leeway, viewers, in the course of an investigation. 4 days have passed. This is the 5th day, 6th day unfolding after the FIR was filed. Seer has been allowed to go back to the Mutt. Luckily, the 2 minors have now been moved out of the Mutt. Viewers, fortunately, after your channel has campaigned relentlessly for justice for the minors, or even a modicum of due process, patience is beginning to run thin. From Chitradurga to Mysuru, protests over state inaction have intensified. Protesters surrounded the district collector's office in Chitradurga. Facing backlash, the state administration has made a few token arrests. We are being told the warden of the hostel, the chief warden, has been detained. The state has also issued a lookout circular for the seer. It's not as if he's taking off in a hurry, but it is a step, according to the government, that should assuage all of us. But the seer, viewers, is brazenly holding public meetings. He even held a press conference 48 hours back. Understandably, lawyers have filed a petition seeking immediate intervention from the Karnataka High Court. Petitioners have sought a court-monitored probe in the case, alleging that the investigation is not carried out in an unbiased, free and fair manner. And there is reason to suspect that the police isn't doing its job. Apart from the glaring lapses, the basics weren't even followed. What are some of these basics? They're on your screens. Madhya Pradesh High Court guidelines for police officials dealing with sexual assault cases states that investigating officers must ensure that no point the child victim should come in contact with the accused. But the victims were taken to the Mutt for spot inspection twice when the accused was present in the same building. How do we not know that they have been warned, threatened, cajoled? It also states that investigation of the case must be probed on a priority basis. But in this case, the seer has not even been summoned, let alone questioned by the police. So, no summons, no questioning, no arrest. The cops have interrogated the warden of the Mutt. Small fry. Listen in to the Chitradurga top cop who looks as if he has been poleaxed. Listen to this.
ಪ್ರಕರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಎರಡನೇ ಆರೋಪಿಯಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ರಶ್ಮಿ ಅವರನ್ನ ವಿಚಾರಣೆಗಾಗಿ ಕರೆಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಸರ್, ಶ್ರೀಗಳ ವಿಚಾರ ಸರ್, ಇವತ್ತೇನೋ ಶ್ರೀಗಳ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅಗತ್ಯ ಬಿದ್ದರೆ ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್ ರಶ್ಮಿ ಅವರು ವಿಚಾರಣೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ? ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಉಳಿದಂತ ಆರೋಪಿಗಳನ್ನ
ಈಗ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಸಾಕ್ಷ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಕಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದರ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಉಳಿದಂತ ಆರೋಪಿಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
Viewers, the warden who has been detained has spun a completely different story, saying that S.K. Basavarajan, the former administrator of Karnataka's Muruga Mutt, who helped the victims register complaints, is the one who has sexually harassed her as well as the children. We caught up with Basavarajan, the former JDS MLA, and he says it's a ploy to target him. G.B. Patel, a Lingayat community leader, the only one thus far, has demanded strict action against the seer, while a number of others, seers from the Lingayat community, who owe their careers to the pontiff, have backed the pontiff, saying that he's clean. So have several politicians cutting across political lines. First, listen into G.B. Patil and S.K. Basavaraj.
So, one question that I'd like to ask you, the charges have been leveled against you of hiding the kids, keeping them in captivity, kidnapping them. Do you agree with these allegations?
ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಪಿತೂರಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಅವರನ್ನು ಬಂಧನದಲ್ಲಿರಿಸಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಹಚ್ಕೊಡೋದಾಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡೋದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಧೈರ್ಯ ತುಂಬಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ವಾಪಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅವರು ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಭಯದಿಂದ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ.
One thing I would like to mention here that we all expect Sheer to come out crashing. That is one thing. But at the same time, justice should be given to the victim. Somebody is alleging that I have been harassed, I have been raped, then one has to investigate that, no? That's more important. Whether he is a Swamiji or MLA or anything, our laws doesn't make any difference between the MLA as well as Swamiji or the victim, ordinary person.
Viewers, breaking news coming in. Times Now was able to track down the Chief Minister, Mr. Bomai, and we asked him a direct question. Why hasn't the seer been arrested? The CM was silent, evasive. What is behind this evasion? Is it compulsion? Let's listen into this sequence.
The Muruga Mutt issue, sir, on the Muruga Mutt issue, the accused has not yet been called for questioning, sir. It's been 7 days. Sir, so far the accused has still not... The Muruga Mutt issue, sir, on the Muruga Mutt issue, the accused has not yet been called for questioning, sir. It's been 7 days. Sir, so far the accused has still not...
Let's open this up, viewers. Let's ask some questions. We would have really liked the state government to have sent a representative to this program. The omission is glaring. There are others, of course, who are standing in. And I think that they are today not being honest with their conscience. But I let them speak for themselves. Let's ask Bhavna Ramanna, Naveen Chomal, Brijesh Kalappa. Let me first begin with Ms. Ramanna. Ms. Ramanna, I want to ask you this. It's been 5 days, perhaps even 6 now. A Posco case, massive imbalance of power, at the heart of it, the future of 2 minors. We haven't even had the cursory attempt at probing this matter in a free and fair way. Do you think this is desirable? Bhavna Ramanna?
You think it has not been free and fair way? If it is not free and fair way, I'm sure there wouldn't be any FIR charges against this Swamiji himself to start with. And then if there is an FIR charges against him, and there wouldn't be any such hangama over the media too. And the third one is, if he is so powerful, if it has not been a free and fair way, he could have really run away from the place, the kind of position that he is actually in. So I think...
Maybe he doesn't need to, Ms. Ramanna, when the ex-chief minister of the state says people from the Mutt have conspired against the seer. Maybe he doesn't need to run away or even answer a question when Umesh Katti, cabinet minister of Karnataka, says it's a fight between a former MLA and Swamiji. Maybe he doesn't need to, because everyone, including you, are convinced of his innocence even before the probe has begun. And let me tell you, madam, I don't know if you're aware of the peculiarities of the law. Give me 30 seconds.
The humiliation, okay.
Ma'am, give me 30 seconds.
I will give you.
Give me just 30 seconds, please.
Yeah.
The allegation is not clear yet, says G.H. Thippareddy, BJP MLA of Chitradurga. Now,
Chitradurga. Yeah.
Yes. Now, just think about it, ma'am. Just think about it. Jagadish Settar, former Chief Minister of Karnataka. Swamiji is a religious head. D.K. Shivakumar, according to me, is a very noble man. The cases that have been brought against him are under provision of the law where automatically an FIR has to be registered. This is not some great reflection of an unbiased police. That's nominal. Should we not think for 2 minutes about the plight of the minors? I'm asking you.
We should, all of us. There is no doubt about it. But in the institution where Muruga Mutt has a lot of educational institutions, under that institution, there are many thousands of girls have taken a shelter for the education, which can really give them a very good life too. And the Chitradurga, a place, it is a town by nature, and it is a very different kind of one. Politically, it has a different scenario, and people of that place, they are like a lotus of the lake, because they're never touched by, or they're never influenced by such influences or the political influence, neither any of the money or any such thing. They live on their own. In fact, the poverty is much more higher. And it is, yes, of course, there is Lingayat community is much more in number, but also it is the land for backward communities, SCs and minorities as well. It is a place for everyone. And it is Durga itself. It's a name which means a bravery. So it is a place of bravery. So there has never been a lack of any such things, I'm sure. That is what the Muruga Mutt Sri Gadu also reflects the same thing. If at all he was not brave enough, he wouldn't have really come out, and then he wouldn't be showing his face saying that I'm here to face all these hurdles in my life. He wouldn't be saying so at all. So it takes a lot for a man of that stature to stand against such odds and to say and to take and to swallow all that humiliation what has come on him and to take all that and then to come in front of the media and in front of so many people, lakhs and lakhs of people, because the Matta has a long history to it. It's not just standing on its own just in a day or two. It has seen a lot of people.
Such a brave man. What a brave man.
Yes, I will stand by my word, whatever I'm using.
What a brave person. What a brave person.
You can use it in a very
of course,
sarcastic manner.
The minors must be, as I said and I began, must be ingrates.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Then what are we saying?
I'm not saying that
because
at all.
You said that he says that bring it on, I'll face everything. What has he faced?
Oh yes,
let me ask Dr. Ranganathan.
It takes a lot
Dr.
to see
Ranganathan,
that.
what is the seer faced? What has he faced?
The insult,
Rahul, first of all,
the humiliation.
Can I please, ma'am, can I please, thank you, because it's a very serious matter and I would beg your indulgence to not interrupt any of the panelists. Thank you very much. Rahul,
no,
can I
I'm
please,
not into
first of
all
all,
that. Don't talk to me like that. And I'm nobody also. Today I've been called on this panel, I'm here. I'm nobody. It's absolutely fine. I'm no one to give anybody permission also to speak on. Please go ahead. It's Mr. Rahul who will take the in charge of that.
Can we please just concentrate on the debate in question?
Yeah, Ms. Shankar, it's okay. Let him continue. Yes. Dr. Ranganathan.
Yes, Rahul. Yeah. So first of all, I want to thank you for taking this issue up. You can already see how this issue is proving to be contentious just for the sake of it, for preserving this so-called vote bank. There are two issues here and both are serious and merit going into, Rahul. Number one, it is the most abhorrent of crimes what has happened, and the seer or pontiff should be immediately arrested. I am aghast that he has not been arrested yet, even though the Posco Act has been applied in the FIR. The BJP government and all its supporters should be ashamed. In Posco, let me tell you, first of all, Supreme Court has said you cannot have an anticipatory bail in Posco Act. Number two, an arrest has to be made within 24 hours. It doesn't matter if that person is very brave or a religious leader or a politician. I'm sorry. The arrest is mandatory. So cheap politicking on this issue must end. Therefore, I'm all the more glad that one of the most vociferous voices on this, asking for the seer's arrest, is actually Mr. Vishwanath, who is a BJP MLC. Many from the ruling dispensation, shamefully, as well as the opposition that you mentioned, are silent on this, fearing loss of Lingayat vote bank. But kudos to Mr. Vishwanath. We have seen, Rahul, how when religious leaders are accused of rape, there is not only laxity from the legislator and the executive, but the general public as well. And the example is there in front of you as one of the panelists. Remember the recent case of the bishop? Now to the second issue. Rahul, 35,000 rapes are committed in India every year. It is the most heinous of crimes. Why? Because crime is identifiable by the possession of loot. But in rape, What is it that the rapist possesses after it is over? Nothing but his guilt, if at all. And that is why a rapist thinks of the female body differently. He has assaulted the intangible human emotion. Now I ask you, who are we to judge the severity of an assault on this intangible? Is one act of rape any less heinous than the other 34,999? Are rape survivors in Karnataka or Rajasthan or Maharashtra any less worthy of our attention and outrage than in UP or Kerala survivors? Emotional outrage can only highlight the problem. It cannot solve it. If we want justice, we must acknowledge that emotions have no role in delivering it. For justice delivered with emotions becomes vigilante justice. We need to deal with only facts. Rahul, by the time this debate ends, 4 women would have been raped. Rape incidence rate has increased from 0.3 in 2004 to 3.1 in 2014 to 5 today. All governments are complicit. Justice Verma report hasn't been implemented in full. Most of the 3,500 crore Nirbhaya fund is still unspent. Even after 8 years, no one is willing to ask. How do you solve a problem when 94.6% of rapists are relatives or friends of the survivor? When 100% literacy state like Kerala has 4 times more incidents of rape than UP or Bengal? How? By lighting candles? No. By rejecting politics and cushioning of a crime and accepting science and data, and by applying law equally to everyone, politician or religious leader or you or me.
Now let me tell you, viewers, the Posco Act makes it obligatory for the police to equally focus on the rehabilitation of victims. Let me tell you what is expected. Victim is entitled to getting a copy of the FIR, adequate police security, immediate and free medical examination, counseling for mental, psychological well-being, recording of statement by women police officer at child's home, admission to child care institution if crime is reported at victim's house, immediate aid and assistance of CWC, staying away from accused. Staying away from accused. Now this did not happen, viewers, till about 48 hours back. This is written into the act. Also, viewers, let me tell you some facts. Arrest can happen without warrant. In other cases, NCPCR has stepped in and called for immediate arrest. In this case, viewers, look at what the chief of the NCPCR says. Priyank Kanungo will act if no action is taken on Posco, have sought 7-day report from cops. 7-day report. I've asked for a report from cops. Viewers, there is something very wrong. Let me open this up further. Kasturi Shankar, the NCPCR State Commission for Children have asked the Chitradurga Superintendent of Police to update them regarding action against the seer. Okay, let's take it at face value. Clearly, if both these authorities have stepped in, it must be serious. If it is serious, why hasn't this seer even been questioned? Forget about detention, which you can do without a warrant. You don't need to go to any court to seek a warrant. You can go straight. What is happening?
What we are doing, what we are witnessing is abject mockery of the law of the land. We have sacrificed security of women and children. We have sacrificed the safety of the oppressed classes in a search, in a mad blind search for a vote bank. I think what the politicians of Karnataka, and let's not forget, it's not consensus. They don't agree on anything else, but they've all agreed that the 2 children who have come up against the seer must be mistaken at the least or lying at the worst, because the seer is a noble man. I can only remember Brutus's speech about, Mark Antony's speech, that Brutus is an honorable man. Here, the seer, Muruga Sharanuru, is an honorable man, and therefore he is already proved innocent before even investigating him. Why? Because this is an insult to the people of Karnataka, to the Lingayat community of Karnataka, if politicians think that they can pander to their whims by actually pushing a sexual assault case under the carpet. And I'm talking about bravery. I would like to tell you what bravery is, madam. It is not bravery to sit inside the confines of your mud giving sermons from the balcony about your innocence, to protest your innocence to thousands of your followers from the safety of your balcony and with the subscription of political friends and bigwigs. That's not bravery. You know what is bravery? Knowing fully well that in this country, the lawyer and the surviving victim and their family members can be put to death, can meet with car accidents. In Unnao, the lawyer also died. Yes. Knowing fully well that their entire family is at a risk of life, these two children have come up and they have come up with the accusation. If they were lying, don't forget, the entire state will be against them. They are facing the risk of life or death to come up against a huge and powerful man, and we are already branding them liars.
And I'll tell you, Kasturi Shankar is not wrong.
At least give them a free trial. At least give them a fair investigation.
Absolutely. A fair investigation is all that we are asking. We are not saying he's guilty. Neither are we saying what Mr. Yadurappa says. According to me, he said, people in the mutt only have conspired against him. Who is this Yadurappa? Who is he? What do you mean, according to me?
Oh, he has been
what powers, excuse me, madam, Miss Ramanna, what powers have been vested upon Miss Yadurappa to say, according to me?
Oh yes, sir, because he has been a former chief minister and he
so
is
that gives him a special Sherlockian, hang on, does that give him a Sherlock Holmes-like intuition?
Not necessarily, but he
then
can always have
saying?
the right to say
Who
that.
Who is he in the matter?
Him saying that.
According to him, who's asking his advice? Who is asking for his
it's
reaction?
Not the advice. He has
who
been a former chief minister
and viewers, if a former chief minister who is a putative head of the campaign for the Bharatiya Janata Party in the state of Karnataka is blithely coming out and giving a character certificate and talking about all sorts of other things, isn't he leading the investigation? Let me ask that
That's
question.
Because you have asked
Let me ask that
he
question.
Is not coming on his own and he is giving any kind
Madam,
of
I don't want to get into. I understand you're passionate and I am not stopping you. Let me just ask the others. Okay, please. We are all convinced about our point of view. Kasturi Shankar is convinced about her point of view. You are. No one is. One second. Let's not speak over each other, please.
The path of law and the truth. Let the truth prevail.
Okay, Ms. Shankar, 1 second, please. Absolutely. You're right. You're convinced about your point of view. Ms. Ramanna is completely convinced about hers, and they're entitled to feel convinced about their points of view. All we are saying...
Rahul, it's not for me to suggest, but can Ms. Ramanna not have that permanent smirk on her face?
It doesn't matter. She can have anything. She can smile, she can giggle. It doesn't matter.
Why is she smiling?
Forget it. Forget it. People are free to do what they want to do. Okay, people are free to do what they want to do. If that is what she chooses to do, let her do it. 1 minute. Let me bring it.
Absolutely. No, Rahul, it is insensitive.
Okay, look, a person, if she wants to be mocking, if she wants to jeer,
really
she can. It's a free world.
That's not the topic here.
1 second.
It's not the topic about
exactly. I'm not getting into this. I'm not getting into this. Let's just 30 seconds, please. Everyone, please, let's get back to the issue. The issue is important here. The issue is very important. Mr. Kalappa, I want to ask you. A former chief minister says this is a complete conspiracy. He will come out of this clean. He commands respect across the state. What makes Mr. Yadurappa, before the investigation is even beginning, coming out and giving a clean chit. Is it the fact that the BJP got an overwhelming 87% of the vote share among Lingayats, who account for 16 to 17% of the state's population? Mr. Kalappa, you were in the Congress. You probably have seen from the other side. Today you may not be with the Congress. But still, can you discount this compulsion as a factor? I'm asking you.
Rahul, I personally feel that these character certificates which are freely being distributed to anybody, whether it's to the seer, whether it's to anybody else, has little relevance to the prosecution, right? And the prosecution, according to me, because I've been seeing the reports, of course it troubles me that the seer has not been arrested. Perhaps there is good reason not to do that. Perhaps there is good reason for the prosecution to act in a particular way. I don't know. I'm not aware of the circumstances. But from what I have seen and what I have read, I have seen that the children were presented before the magistrate. And I think this is a very positive event, that before the magistrate, the judicial process has begun. The stone has rolled, right? So therefore, the die has been cast that first the students have gone and met the magistrate. Now, if the magistrate, in her wisdom, asks a question of the police, of the prosecution, as to why these arrests have not taken place, then the police would have been hard-pressed to present an answer. Now, why the magistrate didn't ask that question is something which I have no answer for. Insofar as the various, the
Mr. Kalappa, I asked you a very simple, straightforward question. Thank you for the larger perspective, but I asked you a very straightforward question. Do you think Yadurappa and others from his party and others in the Congress, etc., are all today sitting on the fence, or perhaps favouring the seer because of political compulsion? Simple question, yes, no.
No, I don't agree that they should have given these character certificates. And these character certificates, in fact...
No, so what is the basis? What do you think is happening? Why are they giving? Why are they all falling over themselves to give these character certificates, Mr. Kalappa? Is it politics? Vote bank politics?
No, they are highly insensitive at a time like this. Because, there are two views, right? And then one can't go with one view entirely.
Okay, let me, you need to also get off the fence. Mr. Kalappa, I'm only asking you a straightforward question. Is it political compulsion holding them back? Yes, no. Yes, no.
Absolutely. I think it's political.
Okay, political compulsion, says Mr. Kalappa. Now let me bring Tanveer Ahmed and Tehseen Poonawalla and Mr. Chomal. Tehseen Poonawalla, I want to ask you a question. You have often spoken for the Congress party. The Congress party came up with a slogan recently. Ladki hoon, lad sakti hoon. What do you therefore make of Mr. Shiv Kumar's statement, who is not some bystander? He's a very important player in Karnataka politics for the Congress party specifically. When he comes out, Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar, and says, according to me, he's a very noble man. According to me, he's a very noble man. There is a conspiracy. Isn't this completely undercutting the Ladki hoon, lad sakti hoon slogan that Priyanka Gandhi came up with, and the emphasis that Rahul Gandhi gives to women's security? Recently, he was attacking the Prime Minister for making a mockery of the statement, Beti Bachao. Tell me.
Rahul, good evening. Thank you for having me on the show. Good evening to all my worthy panelists and to all your viewers. Rahul, very often I disagree with you. I have disagreements with you, but I cannot today but applaud you for taking up an issue which I want to put across to the viewers of Times Now and also the viewers across the world, that very few media channels have the guts to take up. So congratulations to you. As much as I disagree with you, I respect the fact that you take up our press issues. So yeah, two, I am not going to be offensive. It is, I am appalled by what is happening in the great state of Karnataka by both the government and the opposition. And I do not want to make it political, but the opposition needs to stand up and ask questions. The balance of power is in favor of the pontiff. These are minor girls who are one from the SC community. Their pontiff should have been arrested. Is the law of the land, and everything is being violated. And the two most powerful people in the state, a former chief minister and a claimant for the chief minister's post, are protecting the pontiff. It is unacceptable. Rahul, instead of this pontiff, I dare say, if this was Tanveer Bhai, you, Anand, me, or Mr. Choma or Brijesh in the position of the pontiff, we would have been arrested, because that is the law of the land. I am embarrassed by both the BJP and the Congress who I support for not taking this head on. We have to protect our children. I still believe you are innocent until proven guilty, as does Anand, I'm sure, believe. But when the balance of law is in favor of the oppressed, not the oppressor, of the victim, not the accused, you must follow the law of the land. Nobody's asking for any special treatment. All we are asking, at least Anand and me, is for the law of the land to be followed. And for somebody sitting on your panel and laughing when a 15-year-old or 16-year-old girls were tortured, it says very badly about what they support or what their upbringing is. I'm embarrassed and I'm angry about it.
You're angry, you're angry, you're angry, everyone is angry. Everyone is angry except for those.
Rahul, I'm sorry.
One second.
I can't look straight up.
One second, doctor. Everyone is angry except for those that matter. Everyone is angry except for those that matter. Doctor. Yes, doctor.
I refuse to look straight at the camera. Because I'm having to withstand this laughing, smirking look. I'm sorry. I refuse to look up.
Yeah, it's not fair, Rahul. Girls are being harassed. You cannot laugh, Rahul. You have to be sensitive.
I have all the right to express what I feel like.
I am just saying, viewers, this is the evidence.
I'm not even smirking.
This, sometimes you must allow the truth to come out even if it means through a smirk. That's why I am not ticking off this lady. She's only exposing her bias, viewers. It is writ large.
Oh yes. Oh yes. This is how everybody has taken a right to talk about my culture, my upbringing,
please.
how I have been brought up.
Madam, please.
What is that I have
Miss
done?
Ramanna, please. Let me bring in Naveen Chomal. Let me bring in Naveen Chomal. It's okay. It's okay if you choose to make a mockery.
Including you. You don't have a right to talk about me.
You that you are not representative of the Speaker and his Mata and all those people that you claim to follow, because it's unfortunate if they were judged
Miss
by
Ramanna chooses to, you see, viewers.
Talk about it. I'm not here to support a seer just for my selfishness.
Okay.
It's just that I come from the place. I have known him personally.
Right. Yes.
And I have also chaired Bal Bhavan, by the way.
Right. Let me bring in Mr. Chomal. Mr. Chomal, let me bring you in.
Children, not that I know.
We've got an ardent believer, and the ardent believer has. We've got an ardent believer, and the ardent believer says everyone else is lying. It doesn't matter, and that's her point of view. One second, as I said, viewers, as I said before I began, certain people will have a certain point of view. We have to accept it.
This is how you're treating me here.
What is going on?
Of yourself. You're nobody to judge me for what I am.
Okay, Ms. Ramanna, calm down. Let me bring in Mr. Chomal. Mr. Chomal, let me ask you some straight questions.
You are the people who are sitting and talking about the rights of the women, rights of the children, rights of everything, rights of the respect.
Dr. Ranganathan.
You are the people who are doing it.
Dr. Ranganathan, would you like to respond?
You have no right to do so.
You could respond.
Rahul, first of all, the matter is so serious. It involves...
Yes. So you should know what you're talking
now, please don't interrupt.
To whom
I've had enough of you.
And why are you addressing me that?
Your continuous laughter and smirk. Number two, you saying that person is brave. Number three, you saying...
That is my opinion. That is my view. I have all the right to give my opinion.
So I also
have all the right to give my opinion. That is my view. That is what I have...
Ms. Shankar, 1 second, please.
And you have no right to talk about my upbringing and my culture. You have no clue about me.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about, Rahul? Now
you said that. You said that.
He didn't say. He didn't talk about your upbringing, madam.
No.
Don't play the victim here, please. No one has referred to your upbringing.
It shows what is the kind of culture that I come from.
No one is talking.
You don't know where I come from. I come from that place called Chitradurga. I have been brought up here.
Dr. Ranganathan said nothing. Tehseen Poonawala said something. Tehseen Poonawala, would you like to respond to Madam Ramanna?
Stop playing the victim
I don't
card.
want any response from anyone. But this is not the way you people treat me. I'm not here for anything. I'm not here to please anybody. Not you or not any of your who are in the panel.
Okay, you've said your piece. Now let me bring in Mr. Chomal. Mr. Chomal, simple question to you. The POCSO Act, the way it has been designed, puts the burden of proof on the accused. Section 29 and 30, specifically of this act.
Definitely.
Right? Definitely.
Definitely.
It also gives the police powers to arrest, Section 41, without an order from a magistrate or even a warrant. In your opinion, has the police erred in not arresting this year till now, 6 days, when the seer can within the mutt orchestrate a complete cover-up?
Rahul, I first of all like to say that I fully agree with you and our other co-panelists also, except Bhavna ji. Of course, I am on her side, but I am not agreeing to her views. I am in fact fully agree with whatever you are saying. I am on the same page. But let me try to put my little knowledge that I have of the law in my 27 years of practice and experience. See, kindly appreciate the law is very much in favor of protecting the girls in this case. But at the same time, our criminal jurisprudence has a particular wisdom that there has to be certain circumspection, especially in cases of arrest. If there are ramifications and there is a possibility that there can be a false implication also. So I am not defending the seer at the moment, but the fact is that the seer has also come with a defense that I have been falsely implicated. So definitely I am sure that we have got a strong democracy in our country, a powerful judiciary and a powerful fourth estate also, and a very active social media. So it is not going to happen that if this seer is found to be prima facie involved in the case, he will escape the clutches of the law. Law will take its own course. But at the same time,
sir,
there is a judicial wisdom.
The law only can convict. One second. You can only have a conviction when there is evidence.
Onwards.
When there is the basic fear.
No, Rahul.
One second,
Rahul,
Mr. Chomal,
please.
Mr. Chomal, please.
No,
I just want to ask you a counter question. Please answer me. Am I wrong? Am I right? Okay. Here, the dice is loaded. The crime has happened inside this mutt. Right? Who is the head of this mutt? It is a seer. Everyone reports to the seer. Evidence can easily be eviscerated. Witnesses, etc., if there are any, can be co-opted, intimidated. No one will even know. The police has not even gone to ask a question of the seer. Mr. Chomal, you tell me, is that right? The basics have not been done. You are giving us a lecture about whether it will be convicted or not, the law, blah, blah. A court can only convict if there is evidence. If there is no evidence left,
no, I'm not
will
talking
give
about conviction.
A clean chit.
Rahul, I am not talking about a conviction. I am talking about an arrest only. See, there are judgments of the Supreme Court.
Sir, forget the arrest.
For example,
Mr. Chomal, can the police not even step in and ask a question? Is that asking too much?
Definitely.
Are you as a lawyer telling me that the police has done very well by the victim by not even asking a question of the seer? Is that your contention as a man of the law today?
Not exactly. No, Rahul. Please give me 2 minutes of uninterrupted time. Please appreciate that each case has to be handled in a different manner. Maybe the police are collecting all the evidence and all their records to question the seer. Once they question him, maybe they will totally corner him.
The only thing that matters is a statement that has been recorded before a magistrate by the 2 minors. On the back of that statement, they can go and ask the seer. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty? एक सवाल तो पूछ लीजिए. Forget about anything else.
Other surrounding circumstances also, Rahul.
Okay, sir, you can keep surrounding us with circumstances.
Rahul, when the investigation takes place, apart from the statement
that given the
victims,
fact that there is a beeline being made at the Mutt with hundreds of people, politicians, a JDS leader, Virendra Papi, has visited the Mutt more than once since the FIR was filed while refusing to speak. The JDS spokesperson is sitting right here before us, Tanveer Ahmed. What is going on? What is going on?
But juxtaposition to that, Rahul, now let me complete one sentence. Rahul, let me complete one sentence. Juxtaposition to that, there is also a allegation that one ex-Janata Dal United MLA has been behind this entire saga and he's been trying
Are
to...
Are you saying that the two minors who have gone up to the magistrate...
So not only the statement of the victim
that the two minors who have gone up to the magistrate... Excuse me, Mr. Chomal. Are you today saying that the minors have would have risked so much disrepute... Yes. Would have risked the security of their families to be part of some conspiracy? They have gone before a magistrate, sir. They've been examined by a magistrate.
So what, Rahul?
So what?
If we see the record, Rahul,
okay,
yes,
so what?
Rahul, please
let me bring in Mr. Tanveer Ahmed. Let me bring in Mr. Tanveer Ahmed. Let me bring in Mr. Tanveer Ahmed. Mr. Chomal, the next time someone is booked under... No, 1 second. The next time someone is booked under... 1 second. If I ever hear from you, the next time someone is booked under any of these sections of the law, including PSA, that the police haven't still arrested that person, I will replay your words to you. It's convenient for you today to take this position.
No, but in many cases...
Because you're playing to a political gallery. That's fine.
No, not exactly.
Of course you are. Don't fool us tonight. I want to ask Tanveer Ahmed. Tanveer Ahmed, you are from the JDS. You're the spokesperson of the JDS. MLAs of the JDS, leaders of the JDS are going there. The former chief minister, who's your boss, has come out and also given a clean chit. What is going on? Mr. Ahmed?
Rahul, firstly, I would like to quote what the great Saint Baswanna said, Satyada baladinda asatyada kedu nodaya. From the strength of the truth, see the weakness of the lies. I think here it is not about JDS, Congress or BJP. It is about the Seer. If at all he is so strong and he has truth, why is he not presenting himself?
Because he knows that everyone around him has given him a clean chit. All those people that matter, including, sir, people from your party. That is why it is about the politicians. If they had melted away, Rahul, he would have had no cover.
Rahul, I'll tell you, Rahul, I'll tell you what Kumaraswamy said, and I would like to reiterate. Kumaraswamy said that political parties don't matter, the life of children do matter. And their protection matters. This is exactly words of Kumaraswamy. Let us, I'm not going to really say Kumaraswamy as a hero today, but the heroes are those two kids who have really endangered their life. See, as Bhavna was talking about Seer, I have travelled with him, I know about him, I have seen the Mutt, the contribution of the Mutt, but here it is not about the Mutt or the Lingayat community, it is about an individual. It is an individual who is accused. And I think it is high time, even now, the Seer should really present himself in front of the court. And all of us, let us really pray that he comes out clean. That would be the best thing, what would be for Karnataka and for Dharma. But at this juncture, people like Bhavna coming and saying that he is bold, he is strong, he is gutsy, and people, a learned lawyer saying that, you know, I don't know, this is not what we want. We want the protection of the children to be far more superior. Far more superior.
Think of the children. Their rights are far more superior to anyone else's.
Bhavna is a very sensitive lady. I know her.
Okay.
She was the chairperson of Bal Bhavan.
Okay.
She was the chairperson of Bal Bhavan.
Okay. Let her respond.
I have dealt with children, and I do deal with children, especially the girl children. I really think of them a lot, because I know what happens to every girl. Every girl has a story to say always in their life. Whether somebody is rich, somebody is poor, somebody has money, somebody has no money, somebody has education, somebody has no education, somebody has a caste power, somebody doesn't have a caste power. Every girl has to say a story. She will have a story of her own. But in this case, what is happening is, we still don't know. No one has questioned Mr. K. Basavarajan when he has spoken to the children on what permitted him to speak to the children, and where did he keep the children? Nobody knows till today. And the person who spotted these children in Majestic of Bangalore, nobody knows who is the person who spotted those children. And nobody knows who was that person who has taken these children to the women and child welfare, and nobody knows.
Rahul, may I answer that?
That has been yes.
Hey, Bhavna,
yes. Tehsil Poonawalla wants to come in.
Bhavna, have you worked with Vadanadi? Bhavna, have you worked with Vadanadi? No. One second, Rahul.
Okay, one by one. One second. Let Tehsil Poonawalla say first. Then you come in. Yes. 1 second. Yes.
Bhavna, ma'am,
Rahul, I have just one question to Bhavna.
It is immaterial who spotted the children, who took these brave girls, who by the way took a gate pass and went all along.
No, because what happens is, in that process, children can be influenced.
Okay.
In that process,
now comes in the response. Let me bring in Tanveer Ahmed. Tanveer Ahmed. Yes.
Influence in the process.
Okay. Tanveer Ahmed.
Who are the person or who are the people who took them to
please, Tanveer Ahmed has a question for you. Miss Ramanna, Tanveer Ahmed has a question for you. Please. Take the question.
Bhavna, you while you were working with Bal Bhavan, you know Vadanadi. Is it not Stanley and Purushottam the most respected when it comes to children? Every DCP, every ADGP, every commissioner in Karnataka, in Bangalore always says the best social service for the girl children is done by Vadanadi. Tell me, if at all you have any doubts and aspersions against Vadanadi, Bhavna, I know you very personally, Bhavna. I have worked with you. I have a lot of respect for you.
The guidance of K. Basavarajan.
Okay.
Nobody knows what is it K. Basavarajan has spoken to the children.
Okay.
Nobody knows.
Now viewers,
now
there is an insinuation being built into this that the children have been brainwashed. 1 second, Mr. Chomal, please.
Rahul, let me
add
one thing.
Let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, and let you have the last word, Mr. Chomal. Yes.
Rahul, I wish we had Mr. Vishwanath, who is a BJP MLC, on the panel. He is the one lone voice who's been fighting for those two poor girls. And according to him, and you have a esteemed lawyer sitting on the panel, let me ask him, if it was as Tehseen said, me, or Tehseen, or sir, you, or Tanveer, or anyone else, is it not mandatory to arrest the person who's accused under Posco? Yes or no?
Mr. Chomal.
Talking about...
Yes.
Mr. Chomal.
Why are we talking about
the arrest can only be done, but there has to be a circumspection, because there are categorical judgments from Supreme Court also where it is said that the minor children are very easily liable to be tutored. So whatever their statement is, that has to be taken with great care and caution. So what we are expecting is only great care and caution. I am fully with you. I am not against you. I am not saying any one of you is wrong. But what the police is doing is just a circumspection, a proper care and caution. I think they are justified in it.
Circumspection, because you see His Holiness is above it all. Viewers, the Holiness is above it all.
Assure as a lawyer to you all.
The politicians, the entire political class is backing him. The police are cowering in the state of Karnataka. Cowering, quaking, viewers, quaking. And let them sue me for saying it.
I don't think that it
shouldn't
be so.
Dr. Ranganathan, your response.
No, Rahul, as I said,
Rahul,
it is not about... Sir, please, you've had your say. I respect you're a professional, so please allow me. Please allow me. I won't take more than 10 seconds. Rahul, what is the bottom line here? As Tehseen has said, if it was any one of us instead of the holy seer, we would have been behind bars. After that, what happens will happen in, as the lawyer said, judicial wisdom. But you have to follow the law. I am aghast that a lawyer would say that the law also has to be looked at. But there is mandatory arrest. But are you disproving Mr. Vishwanath, who is a BJP MLC? If you are, then say so openly.
Okay, viewers. We are at a very sad point of inflection. All these politicians, not everyone's favorite, all these politicians talk about Beti Bachao. They talk about ladki hoon, lad sakti hoon. They talk about women emancipation, empowerment, rights. They give us the whole motherboard, viewers. The whole sermon. The whole 9 yards. But when it comes to walking the talk, this is what they say. Let me play out, viewers, and leave you with the last impression from their own mouths of where they stand on this issue, with the Beti or with those that are today the accused. In their own words. You think about it.
ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಮಠದಲ್ಲಿರೋದೇ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಷಡ್ಯಂತ್ರ ಇದು. ತನಿಖೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸತ್ಯಾಸತ್ಯತೆ ಹೊರಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲದರಿಂದ ಮುಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೊರಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಡೀ ನಾಡಿನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನ ಗೌರವ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳ ವಿರುದ್ಧ FIR ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೆ ನೋಡೋಣ ಇವತ್ತು ಅದು ಒಳಜಗಳ. ಬಸವರಾಜನ ಮಾಜಿ ಶಾಸಕ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳ ಜಗಳ, ಅದ್ರ ಮ್ಯಾಗ ಈ ಗಾಡಿ ಹಚ್ಚಿ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಟಿದೆ. ಅದು ಏನು ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತಗೋತದ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಅಂಥವೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಆರೋಪ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಪ್ಪು. ಇಂಥ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಇರೋರು ಒಂದಿಬ್ಬರು ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Yes, see, from childhood I am following this mutt. So it is my duty to come and meet Swami. That it will take take its own course. If they are really guilty, then see, unless it is proved, I cannot say anything. But unless, see, if you allow me, I will also go and meet the children also. But the police people and the department is not allowing me to go there and talk to the children.
No, because it is a religious head and lakhs together people, devotees for the Muruga Mutt Sri, and there is allegations and counter allegations also there. And Swamiji already expressed that is some vested interest. These all false allegations have been made. It is all, everything will come out, only proper investigation.
I don't know the fact. According to me, I have seen that he is a very noble man who has done some great contribution to the state. Let me leave it to the, let me not interfere with the whatever the police or the government is doing late, because I can't only reply to whatever you are telling. Let me examine it, then I'll come back to you.
ಅಣ್ಣ, ನಾನು ಮಠದ ಭಕ್ತನಾಗಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 5 ದಿನದಿಂದನೂ ನಾನು ಮಠದಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನೇನಿದು ವಿಸಿಟ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿರೋದಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಓಡಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಬುದ್ಧಿಯವರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಆಪಾದನೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೂ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ದೊರಕಲೇಬೇಕು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡನೇ ಮಾತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಪೀಠದ ಗೌರವ ಇದೆ. ಬುದ್ಧಿಗುಳದಿಂದ ಅದೇನು ಸತ್ಯಾಸತ್ಯತೆ ಅದು ತನಿಖೆಯಿಂದನೇ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಆ ಸತ್ಯಾಸತ್ಯತೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರೋ ತನಕ ಅದ್ರ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಷಡ್ಯಂತ್ರ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಥವಾ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅರ್ಥ